Welcome to Marion Matters with Mayor Morrell. I'm your host, Angela Stev. We are so glad that you are joining us. Well, you know, things are really shaping up in the city of Marion, and I have with me the mayor of the city of Marion, Mr. Ronald Morrell Jr., and we are going to be talking about all things pertaining to the city of Marion. If you're joining us on WSOT TV, we thank you for watching us and supporting us for over 40 years. We've been broadcasting throughout North Central Indiana, and if you're finding us online on YouTube on demand, then we thank you for finding us on our home on the web. We do ask that you would please take a moment to like and subscribe the video. It doesn't cost you anything, but it really helps us out as we seek to continue to grow our presence on YouTube. All right, well, Mayor Morrell, like I said, things are really shaping up, and a lot of things we need to do a quick, let's revisit from what we were talking about on the previous episode. And the first thing, the big initiative, that hashtag Clean City Marion, right? That has been something that you've been doing pretty much throughout the course of the warm weather months this year. And now we have the opportunity to share the total impact.
Yes. So this was one of, I would call it my most important initiative. I'm super excited about this, and our team really bought into this. It's over 6 departments working together every single time to pull this off. And it's a vision that not only that I was able to set from the mayor's office, but it was something that everyone could buy into.
Yes.
And because it was that active, so many people were so excited. People were showing up. Even my own kids were so excited to wake up on Saturday morning and go clean. So this first year, we had over 900 drop-offs. So that means people loaded up their trailers, their trucks, and all those things that came through and dropped off trash. So it was, an incredible experience to see so many people working together around one common goal.
And I understand because Layla Price-Bakken sent me some statistics that she wanted to make sure we shared. 905 loads, I think, is the total number. You just said over 900. And 60 dumpsters filled.
40-yard dumpsters.
They're the big ones. Those aren't the little guys. Those are the huge, right? So that is an astounding effort put forth. And it really was something that the whole community came together and participated in. And it is noticeable. When you drive through the streets of Marion, you can see that pride that's starting to come back in the city.
It's so exciting to have so many people buy into something like this. And because, when you kick stuff off, you never know what the buy-in is going to be. But to see citizens of all walks of life, all ages, everything come in and, drive in and help, unload the trash. And one thing that's very unique is our police and fire and our team actually helped the citizens unload their trash. So it wasn't just we provided the dumpsters and made you do all the work. Our public servants, our people who work for the city of Marion, took time out of their day to come and help all the citizens unload their trash. So this has been something that, out of all the things we've done this year, this is the number one thing that comes up the most as that what people love, that we've accomplished.
I think that speaks a lot to the heart of the folks that are the public servants for the city of Marion, and that the police and the fire, et cetera, were involved. And, I also think what a great opportunity to do something fun. Because you think about our first responders, right? They are there in our greatest times of need, right? And there's always usually some kind of a traumatic something where we're calling for help. We need a first responder there. But how fun was it for the police and fire departments to be able to be there interacting with the community, and there'd be no stress, that this is a fun opportunity.
It was a remarkable experience to see so many people smiling. And even, so I have 2 daughters, 5 and 2, waking up every Saturday morning when they normally would be watching cartoons or eating cereal. They were just ecstatic to be able to go out and help clean. Now, they were getting little trash here and there, but that camaraderie, that excitement around helping others has, bled into everything around the city of Marion. So that's something that, aside from the physical progress that we see of things being more clean, trash being gone, this camaraderie, this working togetherness, if you will,
Yes.
has been one of the biggest accomplishments.
Planting those seeds
Yes,
for future generations. And speaking of cleaning up, you've continued with the blight elimination
Yes.
effort. So another dilapidated property went down, and we've got some footage of that. And
Yes.
so a lot of great things are happening, and I'm so glad that you talk about the idea of the unification, and people can jump on board with that. And we'll talk about that a little bit later in today's program. So let's talk then next about something else that is near and dear to my heart because it involves media and communication. That is your traveling town hall events.
Yes.
I understand you are having a very good turnout at these events. For folks who may not be aware, because they're continuing to go on, that's a relatively new thing, share with us again, just real quick, what are the traveling town hall events about? And give us a little bit of an idea of what they've been like so far.
Yeah, so the vision behind this was I got multiple requests, and even on the campaign trail, they said people just don't know what's going on in the city of Marion. So I wanted to take, out of City Hall, from behind the desk, and take the government right to the people. So we've partnered with different neighborhood associations across the city, and we've hosted these, what I call traveling town halls in different churches throughout the city. And they've gotten bigger and bigger every time. The first one we had about 15 to 20 people. The second one was about 40 to 50 people, and this last one was about 85 to 90 people that showed up.
Wow, that's a good crowd.
And then so what we do is we bring myself and then all the department heads. So any questions that people have, they show up and they write them on their index cards, and they can ask anything that's going on with the city, anything they want to know. And we go forth and I answer to the best of my ability. And if I don't know, I call up one of the department heads who specialize in that. And people give them the answers right on the spot. They're able to interact with myself, the mayor, and everyone who's working for them on behalf of the city of Marion. So I think that it's, obviously transparency is the thing that people like, but this is beyond just a normal transparency. This is actually bringing people along on the journey with local government.
So you have an incredible opportunity, not only for you to be able to get the feedback from the community directly. There's no middleman there, right? But then they also now, folks have a chance to be directly interacting with you and the department heads. So if there is a need that needs to be addressed, this is a great opportunity.
Yes, in real time. No, you don't have to make a phone call. You don't have to make an email. All the people who have the answers you need are there right in front of your face.
And there's no need to reserve a space to attend one of these town hall meetings. There's no tickets required. It's free. There's no strings attached.
None
you just show up at the location, which the next one is going to be coming up on November the 4th. And this one is going to it's November 4th at 6 p.m.
Yes.
And it's going to be taking place over IWU at the Henry Banquet Hall.
Yes.
And for folks, if you're not sure where that's at, I'm going to give you a street address. 4200 South Nebraska Street in Marion, 46953. So if you need to look that up on your GPS to find it, look for Indiana Wesleyan University and you will find the Henry Banquet Hall. And I expect that to be a pretty good turnout.
Yes, it's going to be great. And one of the things we've done, we've hosted them in a different district in the city every single time. So it gives people, who live in different parts access to that area. Now, there's some people who travel to every single one to come, but we host them in different spaces with the intent to attract people from that specific area.
So speaking of getting community feedback and interacting, let's jump over to another topic here about staying connected.
Yes.
Now, your administration, you have gone to great lengths to be able to provide citizens an opportunity to stay connected, just like the traveling town halls. And another thing that you launched early on was a citywide app called My Marion app.
Yes.
And that has been out now for a little while. And that was a reporting opportunity for people to be able to communicate to your administration, and it would get the information provided would be funneled directly to the department heads. Now you are upgrading it with a couple of things. It works now on both Android and iPhones. So it doesn't matter what kind of phone you have now, you can download this app.
Yep.
And you're going to be adding a temporary feature. It's a chatbot feature through, is it RattleTech?
Yes.
and that's going to be something that you're testing out. Would you share with us a little bit about that?
So essentially what this is a AI communication tool. So if you have the app on your phone and you just want to know anything about the city of Marion, whether it's historical, whether it's, information on who to talk to, or if it's, where do you go to get your
oil
trash
change
picked up,
or your trash.
anything like that, and you'll be able to go right on this app and type the question in, and the answer will be tailored specifically to the city of Marion. So what we'll do on the back end, myself and our team, will upload all the data and information about the city of Marion. So, ideally, let's just say if you want to know, how do I get a dog picked up? You type it into this chat bot on the app, and it'll give you the step-by-step instructions on who to call, what to do, and how to get those specific things addressed. How do I get a street paved? It'll give you all the information, who to call, what to do, and the process and etc. how to do that. So what this does, traditionally what somebody would have to do is either send an email, call, and maybe wait for a response. What this does is gives you instant and immediate access with the information and answers and the instructions on what to do to be able to be successful in your endeavor, what you're trying to find with the city of Marion.
So then that is going to be a really powerful resource for people.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm glad that as we were just starting to, you were thinking, okay, now what example could I give? And I said, okay, oil change, because I'm thinking, okay, well, city of Marion, anything. I'm thinking, okay, but I think as you explain that further now, city services.
Yeah, the things that we offer from the city of Marion. Yes.
Okay, so it's not just, it's historical information, it's public records, public information, and it's pertaining to city services.
Right, yes.
Okay, that is, so it's not a replacement for your search engines if you're...
No, so you would still need Google and Yahoo, whatever you use, but this is Google tailored to the services of City of Marion. I think that's the best way to explain it.
I think, yes, definitely. Well, that's great then in terms of not knowing where to go, who to talk to, because over the years that I've had the privilege of working with different administrations and trying to help inform the public, that has been a recurring challenge that I have witnessed, is that people don't know who to go and talk to.
Yes.
They know that they need to call the city. And so what happens is over the course of the years, I know that people would call into the main switchboard.
Yeah.
And then the friendly voice on the other side would say, okay, well, we need to get you redirected to, right? Yeah. And then they weren't always sure because it's a vast network of services.
Right.
And this eliminates all of that.
Yeah, it gets rid of that. And you don't have to wait anymore. This gives you answers instantaneously on all the information. So what we're trying to do, again, is increase our level of access and increase our level of information to our citizens.
It's going to be a really powerful tool. Now we need to pause for a really quick break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about another way for folks to stay connected. It's coming in 2025, and folks, you don't want to miss out on this. This is going to be a really exciting launch of a brand new feature that's coming to you from Mayor Morrell's administration. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more Marion Matters with Mayor Morrell.
Get ready, Marion. WSOT TV proudly presents Marion Matters featuring Marion Mayor Ronald Morrell Jr. Join us as Mayor Morrell teams up with WSOT TV's own Angela Stepp to bring you exclusive updates straight from Marion. Tune in monthly for a deep dive into Marion's hottest topics, from groundbreaking projects to must-see events. Catch Marion Matters on WSOT TV, broadcast channel 27-1, Spectrum Cable Channel 3, and streaming on YouTube at WSOT-TV.
Welcome back to Marion Matters. So glad that you are joining us. I have with me Mayor Morrell Jr. of the city of Marion, and I am so glad that you are joining us because we are talking about ways for you to stay connected to the city of Marion. And we were just before the break about to share with you a very exciting new launch coming in 2025. It's the direct-to-viewer content.
Yeah.
That means you're going to be available on every social media platform out there with new and exciting information pertaining to the city of Marion. You're going to keep people informed in a way that they never have experienced before.
So now this was an idea of my own. So this is, separate from, so the city's not paying for this. This is something I'm on an endeavor I went on myself.
This is you.
Yes,
okay.
yes. So I started at the beginning of this year, the Mayor Morrell Speaks podcast, and I realized that so many people have no idea what a mayor does on a day-to-day, some of the decisions that had to be made, and they just don't know the capacities of a mayor's office. So I'm like, well, what would it look like for me to create this podcast to be able to give people access into things that they just don't know? So that's where the podcast came from. And then as I realized how popular it was, there was downloads literally from Marion all the way to Germany, believe it or not. All people listening from everywhere. So I said, what if we just turn this up a notch? So now we're looking to transition the podcast from just audio to now video as well, bringing on more guests. But then this is a very cool thing. I was looking at my Facebook reach the other day, and you know that for those who don't know, on Facebook, it shows you how many people you reach per post. And my posts were reaching over 50,000 people.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, now people are really paying attention to these things. So what can I do to be able to use this platform to get the messaging out about what's going on behind the scenes as a mayor? What am I experiencing? How can I get, this direct to citizen, direct to consumer content out almost, immediately? So I decided that it's time to expand our scope to go from just, a few posts a week or a few pictures here and there to start really documenting this journey of what it is to be a mayor and, bringing on different people who have experienced leadership in the city. So, for example, on season 2 of the podcast, we're going to bring on business leaders and business owners within the city to share what their experience is like in connection with local government, how that helps their business or has hindered it in the past. So it's just creating a behind the scenes, if you will, access to see, what the day-to-day experiences are of a mayor and trying to be as informative as possible so people don't have to guess what's going on anymore.
There's so much there that we can unpack.
Yeah.
And so first and foremost, I think we should talk about the podcast itself. That is the Mayor Morrell Speaks podcast. And that is something that I understand you partner with a company called Frequency Canvas.
Yes.
And that folks, if you're interested, frequencycanvas.com, that you can look them up. They are the ones that do the behind the scenes production for that effort. This podcast is just one of the many different ways that you are going to be staying in touch with people. You're going to be on TikTok. You're going to be on X. You're going to be on Instagram. You're going to be on Facebook. You're going to be on YouTube. You're going to, it's going to, you're making sure you are putting that information out to people across the board. And like you said, real time. So that information, is that something that is going to be city focused, or is something that's going to be linked to your podcast where it is something you're doing as a behind the scenes initiative?
It'll be kind of both. So even the things we talk about on the podcast are directed, towards the city. It's really, my experience with local government along with other guests, how their experiences are. So the city and our social media and our outlets will remain the same, sharing specific city information. But with this is the view of the mayorship in the city from my eyes and other guests. So, and then also we have, the weekly emails that people can sign up for as well. It gives information about what's going on, where I'll be, what we're accomplishing, and how those things go. I think that what I've learned thus far in office is people want to be a part of the journey. They want to see the steps. They want to feel, that we're all doing this together. And I think that is encouraging to me because this is not one of those jobs you want to go out alone.
Right.
So the more people we can get along on the journey, the more people we can make feel welcome into this, it makes it fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing that comes up in my mind is you're talking about educating people about the job of mayor.
Yes.
And that is just going to empower people to become more civically involved.
Right.
When you have an understanding of how things work, the mechanics, the nuts and bolts of how city government runs, then as you work towards the vision, which we're going to talk about here in just a minute, of having a prosperous city, people now understand a little bit better by listening to the information that you put out in your podcast, how they can be a part of that and help make the change that they want to see, the growth that they want to see happen. Do you find, as you are out in the community and getting feedback, do you find that you're seeing more people, young people even, starting to get engaged in the idea of developing the city?
I think that, this is an interesting one. So the city of Marion has a TikTok now. I have a TikTok, and the most popular app in Grant County is TikTok, believe it or not. And so many people are receiving sound bites and information that normally wouldn't be paying attention to what's going on in local government. Some of the things that our city team has posted on TikTok this year it got tens of thousands of views. When before this we didn't have it. It's like this is our first year setting this up. So what our goal is to be able to get communication out in every shape, every way, right? So we have all the modern stuff we're doing, but we're still doing the newspaper, we're still doing radio, we're still doing all the other things. So what we're doing is this 360 approach, if you will, so people know what is going on in our city. And the more people know, then you go out and people are excited, like, oh wow, so many roads are getting paved, or this is happening and that is happening, because they feel informed. And when people feel informed and a part of the journey, they feel like that they have ownership in this, right? And that's what I want everyone to know, is that, even though I am the mayor and the leader and the vision caster of this, nothing is possible without the people. So I want to make sure that people have ownership and feel and know that they're a part of this journey.
Let's jump into that. I'm so glad you said that. You mentioned vision caster. You have, we've talked about that vision on previous episodes about Marion deserves nice things, a growing, thriving, prosperous community, right? Yeah. That vision that you have cast. And I'm going to quote you directly from your podcast, Mayor Morrell Speaks podcast. And you said, as a mayor, you're a vision caster and you're steering, but everybody else is making sure that things get done.
Yes.
Can you elaborate a little bit more about that whole vision casting effort?
So I would say, and I always like to give credit to this, my team, all in City Hall and everyone around that works for the City of Marion, is really what makes the city special, right? We have a great group of, I think it's roughly 240 employees now that really hold this city together. So, I come in as a mayor, or new mayor, as 10 months ago, and I have these ideas and I have all these things that we want to do, but without getting buy-in from the team, none of this stuff would be possible, right? So I'm so super thankful for the team that have bought into the vision. And then first and foremost, the citizens. You have to be able to cast a vision that the citizens can buy into, and then one of the things that the one-liner, Marion deserves nice things, it's very hard for people to speak against that. Like, well, of course we deserve nice things. Right. So why have we not been getting those things? So with that vision being at the forefront, when it's time to clean up, people are excited. When it's time to tear things down, people are excited. When it's time to build new and nice things, it's something that people can latch onto. So all the things that we are pushing for and accomplishing is a universal vision that everyone can feel a part of. So I think that when it comes to just the vision casting from a leadership standpoint, some of the advice I got is cast a vision that people can buy into. Because, there's some people, and even sometimes as a mayor, there's some things that I want to do that I think are exciting, but maybe my team and the citizens might think that's not the best idea. And you have to pull back on those. But when you cast a vision that is something that everyone latches onto, or the vast majority of people latch onto, now you have something you can run with. So that's what I think, that was how I would explain that quote further.
I think that's an excellent explanation. And so now then let's kind of circle back for a second. We were just talking about the many opportunities for people to be able to stay connected. Mm-hmm. And you're doing the traveling town halls and you're getting that direct face-to-face feedback, et cetera. How much of that feedback then, how are you utilizing that as you are forming that vision that you are casting?
Yeah. I think I read every email, every conversation we have. If I don't remember, I have somebody with me that writes it down and takes some notes for me. So everything that people say, I listen to and see how we can, make that happen in Marion. And what I find more often than not is some people are saying the same thing, they just don't know they're saying the same things. Uh-huh. So as you travel different parts of the city, everyone wants their streets paved. Everyone wants, blight eliminated. Everyone wants things that are the streets cleaned up. So as you travel to different parts of the city, you realize that citizens really have the unified vision. I just now have to be the unifier for everyone, right? So
people realize that
people
we all have
realize
the
that
same vision.
we're on the same page with this, right? We're on the same page that we deserve nice things, and if we stay consistent on that for this whole entire 4 years, what my plan is to stay consistent on Marion deserves nice things and make decisions from that lens, I think we'll be in a good position.
So here's a great example then of how that feedback and that vision is producing fruit. Just announced Charles Park Fitness Court grand opening. That's a great example. There was a demand for that, and there it is.
Yep, and that's what we want to do is we want to. I'm a mayor that listens first, right? So when people bring things to me and say, hey, how that came about was somebody brought to me that, our county and our city is one of the top in obesity in the state. So now what can we do? What means can we create to be able to encourage physical health? So they brought that to me and we studied that, and that's how that came from. Another thing that is coming is a lot of young families say they don't have much to do for their children. And I had overwhelming amount of emails, calls, text messages, direct messages saying, hey, it would be really cool if the city had a splash pad. So I said, okay, so we start to study in this, and we're getting closer and closer to be able to, get that built hopefully in 2025. So I try to be someone who always listens first and then create what the citizens say that they want.
Another thing that I think you mentioned on one of your social media posts is a skate park.
Yes.
That is something that is possibly going to be coming in
Yes.
2025 as well.
And, so that's another thing.
State of the art.
Yeah. So that's another thing that skate. I don't skate. I don't ride. BMX bike. That's not the life I live at all. However, it was brought to my attention that we have a large skating population in the city, and they don't have a nice place to skate. So as I begin, putting fillers out, there's so many people, all ages, that will be willing to utilize this park. So now if we invest in this and bring this to town, not only will this, help our citizens, but then this becomes a tourist attraction for other people. Because I learned, believe this or not, people travel really nationwide, but all across the state to visit skate parks and kind of like rate them based on their experience. Yeah, so this is this is a big deal. And had I not had the conversation and listened to the citizens, I wouldn't have known either. Because that's not the life I live. So I think that it's very, very important that we listen to, as leaders, listen to the citizens and be able to create the city that they want to see.
I think that's an excellent thing. And as we are in the process of being in fourth quarter of the first year in office, I cannot wait until we get a chance, maybe on next month's episode, to talk about the year in review and all that progress and all the fruit that has come from your administration and the results from listening to what the citizens of Marion want to see in their community. Yeah. Well, you know what, folks? We need to pause for a really quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with some more Marion Matters with Mayor Morrell.
Get ready, Marion. WSOT TV proudly presents Marion Matters featuring Marion Mayor Ronald Morrell Jr. Join us as Mayor Morrell teams up with WSOT TV's own Angela Stepp to bring you exclusive updates straight from Marion. Tune in monthly for a deep dive into Marion's hottest topics, from groundbreaking projects to must-see events. Catch Marion Matters on WSOT TV, broadcast channel 27-1, Spectrum Cable Channel 3, and streaming on YouTube at WSOT-TV.
You're watching Marion Matters with Mayor Morrell. Glad that you are with us. We are talking all things City of Marion. And Mayor Morrell, we have a big event coming up because Marion is Christmas City, USA.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And that means the walkway of lights that's kind of the over 2.5 miles or more of lighted Christmas displays that go up every year for folks all around to come and enjoy. And the way that happens is there's a big event downtown Marion every year, and there is a lighted Christmas parade.
Yes.
How fun. So for folks that need to know, it's going to be happening, I'm going to just stop and say people need to register first.
Yes.
They need to get a float together, a lighted float for this parade.
Yes.
So the parade deadline, if you want to register, it's free, doesn't cost anything. And it is November 1st that you need to reach out to the City of Marion Parks and Recreation Department if you would like to enter your parade float into the parade that happens that Thanksgiving weekend, that Saturday there around Thanksgiving weekend. So, Mayor, how popular is this lighted Christmas parade?
This is arguably the biggest event in the city. This has been going on for, as long as I've been alive, I remember this happening. So this year is my first year, obviously, getting to do this as mayor. So I'm so excited. I get to be the first in the parade and all those kind of things. And and my kids are excited as well.
Are they going to be throwing candy?
Yes, they're going to be doing the whole thing, right? So we're very, very excited about this and participating in this event. So this has continued to grow every single year. So this year we're adding more displays, we're adding more lights, and this is going to be a really, really big deal for the city. So I'm super excited that all the people that work together with this, the Parks Department, the Walkway of Lights Committee and their board, and our street department that goes and puts so many hours in installing the lights and putting together the parade. This is truly a collaborative effort that shows really the heart behind our community, what it can look like when Marion really, really works together.
And it's a beautiful evening, and I am so looking forward to it. Well, you know what, Mayor? That's all the time that we have for this episode. I wish we could go on. There's so much more to talk about, but we're out of time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, folks, thank you so much for joining us here on Marion Matters with Mayor Morrell. We encourage you to like and subscribe. If you're finding us on YouTube, you can do that at WSOT TV. Just do a quick search on YouTube and you'll find us there. And you can find this episode of Marion Matters with Mayor Morrell and the others as well. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for some more quality family programming you can trust right here on Sunnycrest Outreach Television.